Hi, everyone. My name's Jenny, and I'm here with Dixie Andelin Forsyth for A Feminine Moment. And we are going to be talking about how to talk to your feminist friends about the Fascinating Womanhood principles. And the reason this is important is because a lot of our friends will come to us and sort of talk about their woes and their relationship troubles. And here we have this nugget of this amazing information that we know can help them. But the minute that we talk about becoming more feminine, or embracing the principles of becoming more of a domestic goddess, understanding a man, they get really prickly about that and back off.
Yeah. Sorry, I have
A little
whatever.
cough there.
Yeah, I have what's going around this time of year. Okay. Yeah, sometimes women even that claim they're feminists, but they're really sold a few lies in that big pile. I mean, some of the feminist movement has done some good things, but a lot of it has really hurt us. But a lot of times women will, they can attract a man fine. And then along the way, they do something that hurts his pride or offends, not just offends, sounds like he's immature, hurts his pride or makes him feel like she's competitive or something like that. And they kind of get turned off and then they just sort of drift away or they just leave. Yeah. And then the woman is left with, what did I do wrong? And
yeah, what happened?
And I'm afraid that sometimes she thinks that she's not pretty enough, which really has nothing to do with it because she attracted him in the first place. So how do you deal with a friend who you're afraid might bristle if you use the word femininity? Well, I would go after the thing they're the most worried about, which is understanding men. Mm-hmm. Instead of starting with, like in Timeless, we talk about the first is reclaiming femininity and then inspiring masculinity and then creating a lifelong love affair. With somebody like that, because they're going to be super interested in understanding men, then I would start with that and then work backwards.
I totally agree.
Femininity thing, because they don't understand it. They've been taught that femininity equals weakness.
But even so, even the thought of understanding men, and that is 3 weeks in the class. If you take a class, you're spending 3 weeks on understanding men, masculine pride, sympathetic understanding, and how sensitive that masculine pride is. And in order to really get through those classes, you've got to let go of any feeling. And a lot of women feel like, why do I have to do all this work? Why shouldn't he understand me?
Yeah, I get that. That's a 50-year-old question that my mother used to get all the time, and the answer is yeah, he should. But men are not as sensitive to relationships, and women are. And partly it's because the way our whole body makeup is and everything, we are built to have babies. We're built to have babies and to raise babies. We are not the same as men. And one of the things about us is our sensitivity. We have to be as sensitive as we are to be able to tune into the needs of our helpless infants who cannot survive if we're not sensitive to their needs, because human beings are incredibly fragile when they're born. So whether you have a baby or you never have a baby, you are built to do it. And being built to do it means you are also sensitive. And so women are going to, they often wish that their boyfriends or husbands were as sensitive as they were. They're not. They're not, and a lot of times by the time the woman is kind of burnt out and completely done, and he says, hey, there's a problem here, maybe we need to work on this, she's completely burnt out. And because they're just not built the same way we are. They don't notice as quickly as we do, hey, there's a problem here.
Well, you've always said, and FW teaches, that women are the relationship leaders.
They tend to be. I mean, there's always exceptions. Someone says, hey, I know somebody who's the other way. Overwhelmingly, we tend to be that way because we're more sensitive to vulnerability and negative emotion. And we get upset with men when they're not. But when you understand that they are biologically even not built that way. So the woman that was coming after my mother on a talk show say, hey, what about me? Men should do this. Yes, but you're not going to beat him over the head and get him to do it by telling them to do it.
Right.
And women are the ones who by far buy the most self-help books. We're the ones who think, wait a minute, this isn't like my mother. She said, my marriage isn't what I thought it would be. It's not this fairy tale I wanted it to be. I got to do something. My dad was pretty content at that point. It's just that it got better for him.
It does get better.
And she found these principles. So for the woman who's kind of prickly about femininity, go for the understanding men part, because they don't know what they've done wrong.
And thank you for writing Fascinating Womanhood for the timeless woman, because that's the book that you put in your friend's hand.
Yes. I mean, it's more sensitive to what feminism is and has done in the last 50 years, and it kind of puts things a little bit more in perspective. And 50 years ago, things were kind of different. Now, human nature is the same, but just like I said before, my mother wore gloves to the grocery store.
Yeah, I remember those days.
It wasn't weird. A lot of women did. She wore stilettos, but she wore low heels to the grocery store, and she would wear shopping what I would consider now to be Sunday dress.
Yeah, I agree completely. I remember those days.
Well, remember, if any of you seen I Love Lucy, remember how they dressed when they went downtown? They dressed like.
And I would challenge any woman watching this, because I still do to this day, will dress that way to go out. Dress up to go out and see how the world receives you in such a different way.
Well, dress up to stay home.
Why not?
To be comfortable, like whatever, you can't really see it, what I'm wearing here today. This is perfectly good to go out in, but some people think it's kind of dressy.
I know everybody thinks we're overly dressy.
It is comfortable.
Yes.
And seeing you there on the screen, I was, ooh, I forgot my necklace.
Oh yeah, I threw on the pearls last minute choice.
I forgot my necklace. Bob always gets after me, but he had to go earlier.
Well, that's okay. We'll forgive you this time. I know you're the necklace girl, though.
Well, that's because my secret is because Bob always reminds me, he says, "Aren't you gonna wear a necklace?" I think, oh yeah.
Oh, he does. That's so cute.
Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I don't. But this is not a plain top, so I forgot. No. If it was plainer, I wouldn't have forgot.
So circling back to the whole femininity thing, I want women who consider themselves feminists watching this to, if you're a feminist, to me, it's about being womanhood. Feminist is about loving womanhood. So reclaim that part of yourself. You are going to feel better than you have your whole life if you connect to your femininity, and also letting go of that need to control him or make him respond to you as if he was a woman. That was a life-changing moment for me because of Fascinating Womanhood. When I stopped thinking Jeff should have been responding to me as if he was a woman. That's never going to happen.
You know, Jenny, that is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Because we are so different. We think,
so true.
Well, but my husband, he wasn't sensitive when this happened. And he did this, and he doesn't.
And a lot of women are calling that abusive. And it's just like, no, he just really is not going to respond to you as if he was a woman. That he doesn't see it.
Well, I think we throw around abusive. And
that's what I'm saying. It's not abuse.
It's all that stuff way, way too much, because people are becoming so sensitive that I don't know how to describe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why this topic, we will be doing a podcast, ladies. We're going to be starting that hopefully within the next few weeks. And this topic we're going to do a whole 30 minutes on it with Dixie. And eventually the podcast will have other guests. We're going to have hopefully some of women who are interested asking questions. So, well, why don't we say goodbye now for a feminine moment. We have learned so much from you today. Thank you, Dixie, so much. And everybody watching, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so that you're alerted to every time that we put out a new video. And also go to the .com and purchase the wonderful books and materials. They've all been updated for the 21st century woman. So all of this wonderful information has been revised by Dixie to speak to 21st century women. And also please go ahead to Facebook and follow us on Facebook. Sound good, Dixie?
Sounds good. And the workbook for Timeless is going to be done very soon.
Okay, so that means we've got Timeless was put out last year in November, and as with all of the FW books, there are classes that go along with it. So we're going to be training our teachers and offering classes in this new material soon.
Yes, but Timeless is brand new, so these materials have to be created from scratch, and we are doing that as fast as we can.
Yeah,
it's also going to be available in audiobook.
And also, it's a master class, or it's an advanced, super advanced. So it's really, it can be self-study even before we get classes out. If you get the workbook, it's going to enhance your learning. So definitely be looking for that too.
Okay.
So subscribe so you don't miss the updates, and also like us on Facebook, because then if you follow us there, you won't miss it either.
That's right.
Take care, Dixie.
Take care.
Everyone, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.